This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
This next show is in living color on WPSL Worldwide. And if you could see the shirt that Duane Levesqui is wearing, bright red, I've got bright yellow. Man, are we colorful today, Duane?
Wow.
How are you?
It's a great day to be alive. I'm doing fine. How about you, my friend? Long time no chat.
Yeah, well, we seem to get together a couple times a year, and
Yeah.
And, when Katrina told me you were going to be on again, I thought, this is you talk about appointment television. This is appointment radio if you are a veteran, period,
Yeah.
end of story. So how you been?
Doing okay. Keeping up with everything that's out there and looking to help more veterans as I possibly can, especially in these days with the cost of everything. If we're able to help them get some tax-free money to help pay for the ever-rising cost to get through this and weather the storm, I'm here to help. No, it's good to be back on and looking to see if we can get some information out to our veterans again at this time of the year, and also let them know about the upcoming event over at Harborplace, where they can, if they want to, come and meet me live and in the flesh and ask questions if need be. So, but I'm happy to be here and happy to help wherever I can. So.
And you will be bringing your 8x10 glossies, I presume, to Harborplace.
Oh, absolutely. The ladies demand
that. Okay. And you will sign autographs for them?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And these are not pre-signed. I'll do it right there in front of them personally to make sure that they got, and we can authenticate it too,
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Katrina, good morning to you. Well, I know she's here. Her mic is on, her camera's not, but we'll get to Katrina here in just a quick second. But Duane, it has been almost 6 months or so since the last time we talked. Any major changes with the VA as you shake your head?
Well, no, some minor ones that always come up along the way. Somebody at one regional office interpreting the rules a little different than one of the other ones. And it's like, okay, here's how we answer that. And here, it's in the packet. It's on this page. No, the VA is still being the VA, and we're still ahead of them, again, because we do submit to all three regional offices. So if there's a trend out there, we see it first. So that's how we can stay ahead of it.
Well, Katrina, I know Duane is headed your way to Harborplace, and this really will be an important seminar for you.
Got a microphone.
Yeah, some reason her mic's not quite there yet. It says it's on. I don't know.
Welcome to the 21st and a half.
I know. Technology, isn't it wonderful? It's, the rabbi who does a show on Friday, she said, technology is wonderful when it works. Yeah. It's like, and then you just kind of shake your head and pray. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about what you're going to talk about.
Well, again, it's basically getting in and letting everybody know that, number one, my disclosure is I am not with the VA. I am not a veteran service officer. I work for a VA accredited board certified elder law attorney. And in our organization that is the claim support for veterans that he runs with our team, we only submit 100% approvable applications for a full benefit amount, because under the VA guidelines, it's still under the new ones. If you submit an application, the VA has 4 options. Number 1, they can deny you outright. Number 2, they can grant you a partial benefit, and both of those are not worth the time and the aggravation to go through it. And if you want to do that, do it yourself, and good luck. The next option that is available to the VA under the new guidelines, if you were to submit an application and they were to find you overqualified from a financial standpoint based on their new and improved fuzzy math, you can be penalized anywhere from a couple of months up to several years. So you don't really want to touch that third rail because that could damage you for going forward. And then the last option is to do what we in our organization have been doing for well over 25 years now. We only submit 100% approvable applications for the full benefit amount. Therefore, when we submit that application, it's not a matter of if they're going to be approved. It's just a matter of when the VA is going to approve them. And along the way, they may throw a little twist at us from time to time, but that's where our VA accredited attorney and our team stay on top of that. We know exactly how to respond because as part of our process, if they're working with us, our attorney represents them should something come up to make sure that it gets fixed properly. So, but a lot of people, they think they can do this themselves. And back in the olden days, when I first started doing this, actually as a novice for my mom and dad, and before joining this organization, it was a 23-page application. It is now a 48-page application based on what you need to submit with that application. They went from a one-day look back to a 3-year look back on your income and assets and created that new fuzzy math thing that I referenced, that you need to know and understand what they're looking at when they say what's income, medical expenses, and assets, and they break it all down between they have countable income, non-countable income, countable medical, non-countable medical, countable assets, and non-countable assets. And if you don't have those arranged properly, you will not get the benefit or could be denied or get a partial benefit. So you have to know how to arrange things and submit the proper paperwork up front to get it correctly. So, and that's what we've been doing over 25 years, and everybody that has followed our step-by-step process has been approved. And over this time, the last number I heard, we were well over $500 million with a B tax-free dollars that we've helped place in the hands of our wartime veterans and their families over our taking this and opening up an opportunity to help our wartime veterans. So.
Yeah, and I think the key, as Katrina would, I know knows very well, this is not for every veteran. This has got to be, as you classified, a wartime veterans benefit.
That is correct. If you that and the definition of a wartime veteran under their guidelines is you had to have served in active military duty for 90 consecutive days or more, any one day of which was during a wartime era, honorably discharged, and over the age of 65. So that is their definition. So they have the criteria, and the ones now that we've worked with. I've actually gone back and I've worked with the spouse of a World War I veteran that I was able to help obtain her benefits. And that was an interesting case because she didn't have any of the documentations going back then. And so we had to put everything together. But now we get, we're some World War II veterans, which would be from December 7th, 1941 to December 31st, 1946. We are also serving our Korean veterans June 27th, 1950 to January 31st, 1955. When you step to Vietnam, that's a little different because they have two different brackets, so to speak. The first one is from 11/1 of 55 to 8/4 of 1964. You would be considered as a Vietnam veteran if you were in theater at that time. And from August 5th of 64 to May 7th of 1975, you could have been deployed anywhere in the world and be considered a Vietnam veteran. So,
Yeah, that 55 to 64 is kind of that gray period when it wasn't a war, it was a
we weren't there.
conflict.
Yeah, we weren't there, but we were there. Yeah.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. I remember it well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I lost a lot of classmates during that period of time. Yeah.
You and me both. That was my era. So although I was not called at that time, it was not my calling in life, but this is my calling in life to take care of them now. So
hey, Greg and Duane, can you hear me okay now?
Now we got you.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure.
Welcome.
All right, awesome. Okay.
Welcome.
Yes.
All right.
Welcome to the party.
I've danced long enough. It's your show now. You take over.
Oh, no, Greg. Duane, you are doing a great job, especially informing those that may be considering assisted living or independent living, and either a veteran or a spouse of a veteran, that there could be some help, right? There could be some contribution through the aid and attendance that would allow them to come into the community setting and receive the care and the services that they may need. So I'm happy to hear the information. It certainly helps me when I'm talking to prospective residents or their family members to be able to share. And it's still so amazing to me, Duane, how many people really don't know about this benefit.
No, and of those people that don't know about it, the saddest ones I always hear from are the ones that, oh, I only wish I knew about you before. And it's like, this happened to mom or dad. And it's like, well, hey, I've been here. Just come learn. It's not going to cost you anything to work with us to learn what it is and whether you can qualify or not. And that's the amazing thing. We work with the people to see if they can qualify, and then only then do we proceed forward. So we offer all of our knowledge and experience of well over 25 years, because actually it goes back before that, because our original founder, Mary Schneider, actually used to work for the VA before she had some health issues and left the VA. And when she recouped and recovered, as she says, through the grace of the good Lord, she said she wanted to do something to give back to her veterans. And she started this organization as the first privately owned organization to step forward and help our veterans with aid and attendance. We have been the nation's not only the first, but we are the largest privately owned organization helping our wartime veterans. And we usually submit more applications in the month than most of the Johnny-come-latelys do in a year. And we're totally on top of it and have been. And all they have to do is say, hey, could you help me? Let's take a look. Come to Harborplace, learn about it. Let me show you how to get started. We'll give you a complimentary evaluation, tell you what's good, what's bad, and how to move forward.
Absolutely.
What can I do?
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you, Duane, your reputation really does precede you, right? When I say the name, everyone knows who you are, and they have complete confidence that you are going to help them get to the information that they need, as well as the services. So kudos and thank you for your service for doing this. Absolutely. This is your calling for sure.
Well, I'm just following up on a promise I made to my dad before he passed at 101 years young, that I would continue to take care of his veterans. And so I can continue to do that and honor him as a member of the 296 Combat Engineers serving in World War II on the beaches of Normandy, northern France, the Ardennes, the Rhineland, through Central Europe, and right on into Germany with the 296 Combat Engineers, which job was to clear minefields and build bridges in front of Patton. And we all know Patton's theory of war: we don't hold, we advance. To me, that man, those men, those boys are my heroes. And every time I get a chance, I'm happy to help every one of those to serve my and say, here, Dad, here's my way of saying thank you. I'm going to take care of your veterans.
And Duane,
Absolutely.
you made this very personal the last time you were on because it was about your dad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. He's my hero. He's my hero, as you can see. You know, he's why I started doing this. He's why I continue to do this, because it comes from the heart. Because I feel every one of our veterans should get everything that they deserve. And if I know how to help them, as I say, when you're working with me, I pick up the banner of the 296 Combat Engineers, and I'm here to clear minefields and build bridges to the VA benefit. And if you're willing to follow me through that minefield of the VA, if you don't want to hit a step on a mine, you don't want to hit a tripwire, you don't want to show up with some of them, they show up with their own suicide vests, then they blow up their own case. Well, I can't help you, but if you want me to guide you through and get you over that bridge to the VA benefits, I'm very good at it. We're very good at it because we've got a team that we do one thing and one thing only: aid and attendance. If there's a hiccup in the VA that they suddenly start looking for a little something different or they start to tweak it, we know it. We immediately respond to it and we adapt to it. So each and every time we submit the next application, they're not going to have that as an excuse because we already know about it. So before it spreads, we answer that wildfire. So, and I give all the kudos to our VA accredited board certified elder law attorney, John Castelline. He's been with us close to 20 of those years now, and he's been there and my steward through this whole thing. And he's the one that keeps us on top of it and knows how to respond to the VA and what the right verbiage and terminology is, because that makes a big difference. Because if you don't check the right box, if you don't put the right information, if you phrase it the wrong way, it could jeopardize your case. And if you're on working, and again, this is, as I mentioned, a big part of this program comes down to that new extension where they have their new and improved fuzzy math. And that's where I come in under John. Where I am the guy that makes sure that the math works to meet the VA guidelines between the countable, non-countable income and medical expenses to make sure that it meets their guidelines 100%, and then also help the client gather all of the supporting documentation so we can take that back to the attorney and say, here it is, here's the case we built, here's what we've got, here's all the documentation, they're ready to submit. And John and the team take over from there, get everything, and help the family with all the VA forms and paperwork, because he's VA accredited, not me. So we have a team that helps them with all of that. They assemble all of that. John reviews everything and makes sure all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, signs off as their representative. They submit it to the VA, help track it all the way through the system until they get the approval, and it all comes part of our service. But you don't pay us a dime until you prove your case to me, because I want to make sure you have everything, because I'm not going to ruin our 100% track record to have the VA say, hey, Duane, you didn't tell us about this. Oh, no. This is all true confessions, because here's the true confession. The VA now has a contact in every pretty much government organization out there, and they're going to double check everything. They're going directly to the IRS and Social Security, and they got the right to look back 3 years. And if you don't match what they're looking for and they found in the records, they're going to hold up that case and question why you're not telling them the facts. And that's going to cause a ripple in the whole chain. So that's why when we do this application with our organization, we tell them we have the document to prove it. We tell them we prove it. We tell them we prove it. We tell them we prove it. And if you don't have all of those documents, you're not getting it by me. You're not getting anywhere near our attorney to help you with that application. So I guard and make sure exactly what you need, and it's all there, and the numbers work, which is also nice for you, Katrina, at the community, because I'm going to make sure that they can afford it when they move in. And they're not going to be one of those, yeah, I can get you, because a lot of people say, hey, can you get me the benefit? My question is it the right thing to do? You know, because some people, unfortunately, that may need it the most, they're going to come in and they say, oh, this, I'm going to get the benefit and it's going to fix all my financial woes. Well, not quite. Sometimes it does. When you work with Duane, we're going to make it sure it does. But, you know, but it just gives you that a little bit of assurance that, hey, they're going in not only because they can qualify for this, but they're going to be able to have the wherewithal. As I say, there's God, it's got to be 11, 12, 13 years now since I put my good friend, Mr. Bill, last name to be withheld for privacy, but he moved into Harborplace there, and he and his wife, and they moved into independent living, and I was able to get him the VA benefit at that time, and they lived there together in independent living until she needed a little more help and had to go over to assisted living, and then nursing over at Life Care right there on the same campus, as I say, and then back to assisted living. And eventually she passed away, but he continued to stay there and live for well over 10 years there in independent living, collecting that VA benefit. And if you add it all up, the numbers he was collecting, he collected for him and his wife, so he can live in your beautiful community, over $250,000 from the VA to live there.
Wow.
Isn't that a beautiful story?
That is beautiful.
So they
Duane.
lived there very happily, and he stayed there, and he never escalated his care because you guys took care of him in independent living. His wife has health issues, but it worked beautifully for them. The family, everybody was taken care of, and they all loved it. And I said, that's what you need to do, you know? Yeah. And
it's
that's
beautiful.
why I say,
wow,
you guys have a gold mine there. If you have independent living and you can get them on this program early, so they get into it in independent living, you qualify there. Now you've got it all the way through independent living and assisted living, and hopefully some of it into nursing home. If not, then you take in, and you may have to step in Medicaid or whatever. But those are the phases that you go through in these communities when you get of that age, you know. Yeah. But as I say, start early. Get it early, qualify, and that way it takes not only the healthcare burden off of you and the family, it also takes some of the financial burden off you and the family.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing, Duane, you know, like how much knowledge, you know, there is that you have about this aid in attendance. I mean, gosh, I'm sitting here listening and I'm thinking, wow, I didn't even know that part. But again, it's wonderful, right, to be able to partner with you, so that when we do have the prospective resident or family member that's coming to us, they can, and they know, right, they have someone who has served during wartime, that we can introduce you to them, and we know that they're going to get the best information, right? That you're going to do everything that you can to get them the benefits, you know, the best benefits that they can get in order to come into this type of setting. And so, you know, certainly Pat and myself are so excited to be able to host you next month, October 12th at 1:30 in our meeting room. So that you can share not only with our residents, but to some of our guests who will be coming that live outside of the community to hear more about the aid in attendance and how that works in both independent living and assisted living.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to it because you know, again, you bring up independent living, well, or maybe I brought it up, I don't know. But when you're talking Harborplace, you get to talk about independent living, which is, again, a great feature. But even now, all these years later, there was a rumor that went around that you were not able to get the VA benefit in independent living. And I just heard the other day that that rumor is still going around. And it's amazing because over our 25-year history with this organization, we never skipped a beat. We've been submitting applications in independent living, even when the rumors were out there that you can't do it that way. And I was servicing every one of our independent living here on the Treasure Coast, and some down in Palm Beach, help get their veterans the VA benefits when everybody else was saying, oh no, you can't do that. I said, come to me, let me prove it to you. And sure enough, we submitted independent living. There it is. You're getting the benefit. Why? Because we know how to do it. We know the VA benefit aid and attendance better than the VA does. Period. The end. Because your local VA will submit a few applications for aid and attendance here and there, and I'm not going to say anything about the VA. I love the VA, I truly do. But there's certain things that they can handle very well. And the typical numbers show that about 95% of the cases that the local VA handle are for service-connected disability. That's the one everybody knows about. Everybody, because that's been around word for word and word of mouth for years. Our veterans coming back and they need help with all PTSD. They need, support with prosthetics and things of that nature. Well, that's 95% of what they do. Under the other 5% comes aid and attendance. So they don't even do aid and attendance less than 5% of the time. We do it 100% of the time. So we see more cases. And another option, hey, if you want to do it, you're out there right now, here's the options for the public. Number one, you can do it like I did, and you can submit it on your own. Because I thought when I submitted for my mom and dad, hey, they're not smarter than me. Well, it has nothing to do with smarts. But I went in and I submitted an application for my mom and dad all those many moons ago. And the VA hung me up in the system for 2 years before they paid my dad a dime for his service during World War II. And it just aggravated the hell out of me. Excuse my French, but I am. And we got the patent on those words anyway. That's when I researched and found out about this organization that was doing one thing and one thing only in helping our wartime veterans. And a friend of mine hooked me up with it and said, Duane, this is you. This is you. You need to get up there. And I went up there and I met the founder and all the people involved with this. And I was so impressed with them. I said, no, I want to do this. Teach me, train me, bring me in. Start giving me the knowledge so I can get back here to the Treasure Coast and share that knowledge and our team with everybody here, because we submit again across the country. And we see all the different cases and all the different things, and we get notices, here's what to look for now, and here's what to gather in the documents now. And we can share all of those secrets once they register with us, because we're going to give them a preliminary review. And then if they want me to help them build a case, I'm going to be here and help them build a case. And on that part can be overwhelming sometimes, as I say, for some of our seniors. And that's where I say, number one, we want to involve the families, the children, because we don't want them to get overwhelmed with this, because that's one thing I always hear. The bad part is, Duane, everything we had to do, it was overwhelming, and I don't know how I put up with, and I was ready to quit. But now that I got approved and I got the benefit, I'm so thankful to God that I didn't. Thank you very much is always what I hear. But you got to get them through it, and they need the family help and support to collect the documents. But so they can do it all themselves, or they can go to the VA if they want. Or here's another option that's out there for the public if they wanted to. They can go to a VA accredited attorney, and there's some good ones in the area that I know and we all work with here on the Treasure Coast. And I have nothing against them, and I've actually worked with some of them to help with some of our planning when we need so. But here's the thing I put out to all of our people out there. Show me a VA accredited board certified elder law attorney that has over 19 to 20,000 100% approved applications submitted to the VA. There is one and only one in the entire country, and I work for him. John Castelline, that's the man. He's overseen all those cases that helped us educate well over 2 million veterans and their families, and help put well over $500 million in the hands of our wartime veterans. Is under the guidance of John Castelline. He taught me everything, and our team taught me everything I know. I'm just here to share it and get the people say, hey, let's get out there and take a look at it. Some of them may not qualify immediately, because I've heard that, oh, according to the guidelines, I qualify immediately. Well, maybe not. Let me take a look at it. But you have to know what you're doing, and you have to know how to break down the categories financially to make it work, and then give me the documents to prove and support it, because they're going to know about it. Trust me, and so that's why I say, if you can do it yourself, you can go to the VA, you can go to a VA accredited attorney, or you can come and work with us and get a complimentary review. And if and when you're ready to go, we'll let you know. And our fees are hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars. And we build the case and let you know all of that up front, so you know how to move forward in a well-informed and well-educated manner.
So Katrina, is it really true that the first 1,000 people that come in on October the 12th get a Duane Levesque bobblehead doll? Is that right?
I think the information is probably more important than the bobblehead doll. For sure, right?
Yes, damn it, I was going to get there early. I want to see it myself. I always wanted one of them. Mom would be so proud.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That's too funny. But no, we certainly are blessed and certainly thankful of the time that you give to Harborplace, Duane, for sure. And again, for those who want to know more, right? There's a lot of information that you're sharing here today, but certainly for those who want to know more, they should join us on October the 12th at 1:30 here at Harborplace. Certainly, we are putting that out on our Facebook page. We're also going to do some advertising locally here in one of the print magazines or newspaper. But certainly, if there's anyone who is interested, please give us a call here at the community. Our number is 772-337-4330. We'd love to have you. We'd love to host you to learn just a little bit more about the aid in attendance with Duane on, what is that, a Thursday, October 12th. Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Exactly. And this by the way, once we're done here live, the video version of this, the television version of this, will be on WPSL TV on YouTube, and we've got 3,000 shows, and I would imagine at least 500 of them are from Harborplace over the years. So yeah. But Duane, that'll be great.
Cancel all my other subscriptions.
There you go. Duane, if folks want to call you, what number can you give us?
All righty. Well, the only one I got is the one tied to my little electric leash, as I call it. It's my direct cell phone number is 772-342-4677. If you don't get me, you leave a message, because if you do, you will get a call back. Try that with the VA. So, but
yes. Oh.
Yeah. Now, another part of the secret, if you don't leave a message, I'm not going to call you back. If the phone don't ring, you'll know it's me, so.
There you go. So October 12, 1:30. And is this going to be in the back room, Katrina? Where's the seminar going to be?
Yep. So we are, on that day, we will be in our meeting room, which is probably the largest area to host a seminar such as this, especially when they find out that it's Duane, and so then they start to pack the community. And because we do have residents who have moved in, and we have since shared with them about the aid in attendance, and so that's great. But it will be in our meeting room on Thursday, October 12th at 1:30.
And Duane, I would imagine folks who are there, you'll stick around after the actual
Oh,
seminar and answer?
absolutely, absolutely. They have to lock me down and keep me secure until the, because, yeah. As I just with our communities, I always walk in and introduce myself as Mr. Levesque's advanced security team and body double here to make sure that the community is safe before he shows up on the property. So I have to see where you're going to put him. So I'm also Mr. Levesque's rowdy, so or roadie. So
There
whichever
you
way
go.
you want to pronounce it.
That sounds good. Well, Katrina, what else is going on at Harborplace? I mean, of course, this thing is this aid for veterans is just absolutely phenomenal, and Duane's been doing it for so many years. What else is going on at Harborplace?
So, I mean, again, we're getting ready to ramp up for the fall now that summer's over. And so Duane is actually just highlighting, he'll start us off really with many of the seminars and the things that we will be hosting here at the community. As a matter of fact, last week we actually did a fall prevention. And so again, being able to partner with some of our community partners out in the Port St. Lucie and Martin area does allow for us to bring information to our residents that they don't have to go seeking it, but that we bring it to them. And so over the next couple of weeks, like I said, Duane starts us off, and then after that, we'll have a number of physicians that are going to be coming in. As we gear up more towards the holidays, we'll have some of our therapists coming in, talking a little bit more about those holiday blues. So there's a number of things that are going to be happening. So listen out here on WPSL, or either check us out on our Facebook page, or simply call the community to find out what happenings are going on here at Harborplace. But certainly excited that Duane kicks us off with our series of really bringing information and knowledge to our residents here at the community, as well as the community as a whole.
Yep, that is so nice. It really is. And Duane, that gray area, and I go back to this because this is, where I was. I was still in high school when some of my older friends didn't come back from Vietnam, and that would have been early 60s. And in that gray area, I mean, you actually had to be in Nam to receive this, right?
Yes.
And in combat in Vietnam.
Well, you had to be in theater.
Okay.
So if you're in theater, you're in combat. Is the way but yeah. No,
well, I don't know. I was in Saigon for about what was it, 2 months? I was vacation relief in Saigon at Armed Forces Radio and Television. So in the best studio facilities I'd ever been in. Serious. I know it.
I'll read it exactly the way it is on our brochure, which has been reviewed by our VA accredited board certified elder law attorney. So, otherwise, it wouldn't be here in print. 11/1/55 to 8/4/64 extended dates for veterans that were stationed in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So it specifically says in Vietnam. So that's all I can go on.
Yeah.
But I can call and see if we can make an exception for you. I'll talk to John and then say, hey, listen, I got my buddy over here. He's got me on the radio. I really would like to help him out. But, what can we do? Is there a way, but all we need is a DD-214 showing it,
Yeah, well, see, I, as a member of Armed Forces Radio and Television, I was a civilian employee. So I was
okay. Now we got an issue.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, actually, I served most of my military time, if you can believe this.
Yeah. So even if you were there screaming "Good morning, Vietnam,"
it was close. I was nighttime, but yes.
All right. Okay. All right. So you were sleeping while he was on. right?
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
wondering.
Yeah, but
I had a feeling you had a cross radio waves somewhere along the line.
oh
So.
yeah, yeah, definitely did. There's no doubt
For
about
those
it.
who don't know.
Yeah, but
So.
now you think about the folks at ROTC and getting into service and stuff, and which is where I was. I was Air Force ROTC when I was in high school, and um, this is so important for folks who had parents who did serve, and that's why
Yeah.
this seminar is so important for folks to get out and hear you.
Yeah. No, and especially in Katrina, I'm sure she'll verify this sticker shock when they come in. It's going to cost me how much? And, and I'm not. I'm just saying, but and even when I first began, when it wasn't as much as it was now, it was still sticker shock when they come in. Am I right, Katrina? Do they all say, hey, is there a way I can get some financial help?
In some instances, yes. And then that's when it gives us the opportunity to be able to share and ask the question, well, was your husband, did he serve during wartime? Did you serve during wartime? Are you a veteran, right? To dive a little bit more into the situation, because that's our thing, right? To be the best possible resource for the person who's coming in. And certainly it helps to know Duane, right? To know Duane and that he is the expert. And that's what we share. Hey, let me give you this number here, call him, explain everything to him, and he'll do his research and he'll let you know exactly whether you qualify, if so, what's the amount, all of those things. And so it helps to take away a little bit of the anxiety of the, oh my goodness, it's going to cost how much, right? And certainly for me, I don't like to put a cost on care, but I also am a realist and understand it all as well. So again, it's so important that we build the relationships with you, Duane, right? So that you can help us to help our potential resident or family.
Yeah. No, what we try and do for you is make sure they're informed, educated consumers coming to you. And again, there's a lot of people I've worked with at your community, and I've gone through it. And hey, they didn't need this program, and it's like, God bless, good for you. And others that that needed it desperately, and others that it was just a perfect blend. As I told you, one that it lasted over 10 years, and it was just a beautiful story. But you just have to get out there and learn about it and see whether it fits or not. Because as I said, here's another one. It was one I did a seminar many years ago in a community up in Vero Beach. And it was 5 years after the fact that my phone rang, and the gentleman calls me. He's now moved from Vero Beach. He's now living in Bangor, Maine, with him and his wife, and all of a sudden they needed care. They needed to move into the community, and they said, hey, Duane, I had to dig through all of my boxes, and it was in the very last box at the very bottom. Of course, that's where it's going to be, last place. But he said, I dug through it. I had to find it. I had to get your number to call you to see if you can help me, even though I've moved up here in Bangor, Maine. He says, back then we weren't ready. Now we are. What can you do to help? I said, let's get started. So I even helped him even up in Bangor, Maine, 5 years after he went to one of my seminars. Why? Because he was formed and educated, and he suddenly realized, hey, Duane told me here's the road signs. Now it's time to get back with Duane because we're ready now. Whereas where before we were not. So it's not just, hey, if you go to, again, not to throw the DA under the bus, but it's usually a thumbs up or thumbs down, or let's just submit it and see what happens. Well, that's not the way we work. We want to make sure everything is going to work for you, the family, and everybody else, the community. We want to do the right thing by everybody, because that's what I promised my dad. I will do no harm. If I don't like it, I walk away, and I've got permission to do so. When the company says, you don't want, no, I will do no harm, but I will do the right thing. And again, as I let people know, when you're working with me, it's not going to be overwhelming because it's a take-home open book test, and I grade on a curve. If you get in touch with me, I'm going to talk you through it and say, here's what I need, scan it and email it to me. When you get it right, I'll take it off your list. When we get everything off your list, you're ready to go. So it's going to be simple and easy, but I need people to be proactive, because the ones that I can help in my little class as I go through this is the ones that go truant on me. I'm not going to chase people. If you want my help, I'm here to help. But, I'm happy to help, anytime. I've told my people, as I've had people call me on weekends, on holidays, and at different times. And they always, oh, I'm sorry to do this. I didn't mean to call you on a weekend. And I said, no, that's not an issue. Why? Because as I see it, when our veterans were out there and serving us, and the bullet and the bloods and the bodies, they didn't get to punch a clock and get at 5 o'clock and go home on weekends and get holidays off. They were always there. So if our veterans are out there and they need my help and they want to call me on a weekend to walk and talk through an issue, hey, Duane, I'm a little confused. You told me I needed this. I don't know what you mean. Call me. I'll help you. Because the quicker I can help you get the things together, the quicker we can get it submitted. Because here's what it leads to. Everybody always asks me the question, how long is this going to take? Okay. Are you getting an idea already? Here's the secret. There's two sides to that coin, folks. There's the VA side. That's one side. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to tell you it's going to take 6 to 8 months. And maybe we'll surprise you on the upside, but maybe not. But hey, that's the VA. We're going to be on top of that, control that. But what we cannot control is how quickly can the families get everything together to get to me so I can take the case to the attorney. I have some families, I'm still waiting. The VA would have approved them by now had they not gotten their paperwork to me and submitted it, but they disappear. It doesn't do you any good. Come work with me. Let me build your case. Let me give you the pros, the cons, so we can fix it, so we can get to the point where I can say, yes, you're a 100% approvable application. Let's move forward. Let's get back. We're going to submit the paperwork to engage the services of John Castelline, our VA accredited attorney, to represent you with all the VA forms, all the paperwork, help you cross the T's, dot the I's, and have it, submitted and tracked all the way through the system. And we get you all set up. And everybody that I've worked with that I've submitted to John has been approved 100% for their full benefit amount, period, the end.
Wow. That's amazing. Katrina, when is the seminar again?
It is Thursday, October the 12th, beginning at 1:30. It's going to be here at Harborplace in our meeting room. Again, check us out. Call the community, RSVP, so that we know who's coming. But we're excited to be able to host not only our residents, but of course those that are coming from outside of the community to this spectacular event. I mean, informative event, one that I know that they will leave here and say, hey, we have had more knowledge, right, than we ever knew before. And so excited to be able to host Duane as our speaker for the day on Thursday, October the 12th at 1:30.
Yep.
Boy, that's phenomenal.
And to make it even more tempting, I understand there's going to be refreshments, which will include cookies, I assume.
So we always have refreshments. Yes, Duane. I don't know exactly what it will be, but certainly we will make sure we have the refreshments, and we'll set aside some just for you.
Right. Thank you.
Katrina,
that's my fee. Everybody asked me, what does it cost you to come and do a presentation? I said cookies.
That's Katrina. He has been asking that question for 10 years.
It's my going rate.
That's easy.
And that's more than the company pays me. How do you think I get fed?
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness. That's great though. Yeah, that's great, Duane. And you do it with such lightheartedness, and you can see the passion, right, that you have for this and helping others. And again, that's what makes it so great with us working together, right? Because again, we have the resources that we can share with others, and then they come to you, and then you help them along the way. I tell you, it makes the transition so much easier when you're taking these kinds of issues out of the way, right? Out of the picture, that there is someone else that's helping us to maneuver along the way. It really does help with the transition going from home into a setting such as Harborplace. Whether it's independent living or assisted living, it does make a difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as I say, if I only had somebody like me some 17, 18 years ago, when I submitted an application for my mom and dad, I would have said, where do I sign up? It's like, really? Really? You could have saved me 2 years of aggravation responding to the VA. Because here's one thing they have down to perfection: stall tactics. They're very good at stalling. So, and on that note, I'd like to remind people a little thing that I've heard all of my life that always rang true. You never get a second chance to make a good first impression. Well, folks, it never makes a bigger difference than when you're submitting an application to the VA. You want to get it right the first time so it goes through smoothly. Because if it gets kicked out of line and they have to start sending you correspondence and asking for things that weren't, and they think weren't submitted, that's going to take time. It's going to delay them from doing it. You want to get it right when it goes in. That's what we're very, very good at doing and very successful at it. And that's why we have the track record, not only for me and just every one of our representatives across the country, that we work with in all the different states. If you follow John Castelline and our guidelines and do what we tell you to do and submit what he's going to need, it's not a matter of if. It's just a matter of when. That's what we do. So come and challenge me. See if you can be the one. But you're not getting by me. Trust me, I'm very good at what I do. So, and happy to do it for you over at Harborplace. And that's why I'm saying, come over, get to meet the entire team over there at Harborplace. They're all great people. I know every one of them, have for years. I'm looking forward to joining you. It's like coming home to my family, because you guys were one of the first that started working with me all those many years back and helped me. And we used to fill that room a couple of times a day, every month, and had people coming in there to try and learn about it. We need to get this word back out with that much enthusiasm, because it means more now than it even did then. And it was very important even back then. So our veterans need to know what's available to them, and I'm happy to hear what my help is. So.
All right, Duane, October 12, 1:30 at Harborplace. Katrina and Duane, you guys have a great week. We'll see you then.
All righty, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, see ya.
This is WPSL, Fort St. Lucie.